everyone. So we're
Hey.
live here. So Juxtapose is yes, Web is kind of joking. It's the event kind of formally known as an art fair because we have scratched art fair from our name. Um our kind of history basically is that there uh, was an artist in a town about an hour from here who ran his own space. And he wanted to participate in a commercial fair called Art Herning, which is not, one of the, it's quite big in its own way, but it's not, but they wouldn't show an artist run space. They wouldn't show an independent project. It had to be a commercial gallery.
Mhm.
And so he was like, like
Yeah.
we should make our own fair for artist run projects. And then he knew he needed help, so he invited a curator who I was working with a lot at the time, and she invited me. So the three of us started developing Juxtapose in 2018. And we wanted to use the word art fair because we wanted to kind of play with these ideas about value, about what is considered valuable in the art world, and who gets to be in these kinds of spaces and gets to have these kinds of visibility and opportunities and things. Um, and in some ways, we are still structured as an art fair because we are a collection of different exhibitors like the SG who curates your own presentations. But and it is possible to buy work, but we're not a commercial project. And we don't charge fees to exhibitors and stuff. So we have a different financial structure, and we also have a different focus. And it was kind of starting to feel a bit problematic with the term art fair because people just assumed it was like a standard kind of commercialized thing. We needed to kind of ditch this for some of those reasons, but also because we're trying to work with the artist run in different ways. So we want to develop new public programs and also professional programs that we can do throughout the year, so that work with this event and also alongside it in different ways, just to try and squeeze as much as we can out of what we do here to just support the artist run in different ways. So it's been quite fun to cross out the art fair. We've been kind of trying to be a little bit playful with it. Like we've been, just updating our old logo by scratching it out and, painting over our old signs and trying to do it in a way that's working with the resources we have and just updating them. Partially for sustainability reasons, and just financial realities, and also just because it's kind of fun to just work with what you have and be creative. So maybe I can show you the space that we're in. This is a cultural center in Aarhus, called Gospen. It's a former train station. So we're in this room that's called Rohal. It's a place where the trains used to come in and unload their goods and wares, And there's two of these big rooms on either side of the building. One of them has been built out with studios and production workshops. And then they left this one open and they call it the Raw Hall. And so in this space, we have 19 exhibitors, and then we have 3 exhibitors in the foyer space just next door. And
the modules?
Yeah, and what we do is we invite the exhibitors. So again, we're not really a typical art fair because we don't have these white wall,
which is nicer,
things. Instead, we have these modules, which are just wooden boards that have been precision cut with slits of different lengths. And then you can kind of slide them into each other without, to build walls or different constructions.
Like a puzzle.
Yeah, like a puzzle or like Lego or something. And you can assemble them without power tools. And it's a sustainable material that we can store easily and then just use year after year. So we have 1,400 of these wooden modules. And then we also have bigger boards like these ones here that you can use as more of a typical wall, and you can drill into and nail and do different things with. And we're really proud of these modules, I think, because it kind of underlines our concept of like trying to really showcase how diverse the artist run is. We don't have a theme. Instead, we just try to show as many different kinds of artist run projects as we can. So we have artist run galleries, but we also have like this space that you're looking at here is Blackwater Polytechnic. They are like a artist run school, basically, that's based on a farm in Colchester. This space that you see here is two architects in Aarhus that work with visual art in different ways, and it's usually related to buildings and also found materials. And actually, these architects who made this space are the ones who did the scribble and all the redesign around our, logo change and things.
So they didn't get to use the modules, like they created
had their own,
space. Yeah.
right? Because the modules are available, but they're not mandatory.
Yeah.
And then we have over here we have a artist run space that began in Damascus and then has been based in Stockholm for the last 10 years, working with exhibitions and residencies of different kinds. We have Detroit, Stockholm, who's here. Hi, hello. I'm going to come and say hello. And then we have here, this is a place called Sap Space. It's an American artist who's based in Berlin, and she has
a real grass.
She has real grass in here because she has her space in her backyard garden. So she's used the modules to create a kind of picket fence around this garden, and then she's has artworks that are in the grass, and then she also has works that are kind of about nature and gardening, like thematically also installed around. And then over here, maybe it's good to cover. This is a performance collective that has been working together for 17 years. And they do it called Cordy. And each year they do different kind of interactive performances with the audience. So they've exhibited with us all 3 years. First year, they did the Center for Stupid Experiments, where they were wearing lab coats and doing all sorts of crazy experimental things. Last year, they set up a casino. And this year, they've done this amazing news studio with like, you can see it has these like, news graphics from, maybe the 80s or 90s or something. And then this in blue is like a green screen, and there's live footage. They're going around with microphones and interviewing.
There's
people.
A program.
It's a whole studio with couches all set up. So we have it's a real mix of different kinds of spaces, and that's kind of like ties back into the whole name Juxtapose, which is an English word meaning like bringing different things together side by side so you can better understand and appreciate the differences between them. This is Hogarum. It's a outdoor ceramic studio.
Is it the one that we were yesterday?
Yeah, it's the one we were at yesterday for our after party. And this is a place where you can go to make ceramics that have processes that are too messy or dirty or loud to do indoors. This is Karina. We're waving. This is a little virtual tour for the virtual studio groups that are over here. Yeah. And
it's really beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's really nice. So we have it's a mix of different kinds of spaces. That was a lot of information. Sorry.
No, it's good. I think we can go like.
Should we keep going, or have you guys had?
You like us?
I say keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going. Okay.
This is us, as you know. You've seen the pictures. I don't have to show you too much. Like I've sent you already videos, but you see, like I think like we're not the smallest. I think like it looks quite okay.
Really good. I love the Polaroids. It's so like clean.
Yeah.
And I love how it's you know, it just kind of unifies everybody's work in a
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So we can go like you've
This one,
seen
we kind of
this.
seen this one, but I didn't talk about what it
Yeah.
was. It's called De Ishkast, and they are a space in Rotterdam that focuses on newly graduated and emerging artists. Over here, we have an exhibition by Hidden Garage. It started in Bologna, and then Elisa, who runs it now, lives in Copenhagen. And so she's working, her program is, you know, also bridging Denmark and Italy in different ways. And they didn't use, you know, it's also really fun, I think, when people do something that has no modules actually
Yeah,
too,
yeah, yeah.
because it really it has its own life. And like they leaned into the actual garage that we have here, and were hanging their works on the architecture also of the door in a way that I thought was really amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's kind of nice break that some people are not using the modules, so then like it gives different dynamic of the space.
For sure. This is a glitter ball based in Uppsala, just outside of Stockholm. And it's a space that also focuses on LGBTQ artists. And it's an itinerant space at the moment. So they did have a physical location for a while, and now they are operating with events like this.
And one of the artists was just having performance, so like this
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
They used to be expensive.
And then we have this one here is Spanien Knit and See. It's a space that's been around in Aarhus for 27 years down in the harbor space. So this is a kind of an archival exhibition that's focusing on kind of how their history in the harbor. So they had a space for 22 years rent free.
Wow.
In this like very distinctive brick room where they did a lot with sound art and experimental music. And then in the 2021, they were forced to move into a new building because the land had been sold by the municipality. But then the artist who runs it actually was like a consultant with the real estate developer to try and keep the focus on art in the area. And he played actually a really big role in like developing different artistic infrastructures that are now being built. And like this wall here is a mapping of the area that was done by some artists in Gdansk, Poland, because there's a research project that exploring different redevelopment in the two cities harbor areas. So lots of eclectic things from their archive. Yeah. And then maybe over here we have, this is ISG 9times.com. It's an online platform. I think over here you can see they have a monitor with the website, but then they also have these really beautiful sculptures and weavings. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. I don't know. Should we keep going?
I like these carpets.
Yeah, these carpets were done. There's a local artist named Matilda Merck, and she
the carpets are changing location every day.
She runs these projects for children. So this one is called Tayem zu Kunsten. So it's for kids who are not in a daycare institution, who are 3 to 6 years old, which is quite unusual in Denmark. So it's having artistic programs for these kids. And she also has the blue ones over there she has programs also for pregnant mothers for pregnant women and new mothers. And these carpets were painted by her children. And then along the back wall, it's a hard painting. It's a studio collective in Brighton, UK, that focuses on very precise abstract work. And they invited 2 artists who have a similar aesthetic to exhibit with them, Danish artists to exhibit with them. And they also, they made a video. They were like, oh, I'm maybe we'll show a video. And you can see this is a scale from, when this was a train station. It's this huge scale in the ground to be able to measure the weight. And they put paper on the back to turn it into a screen projection. So people have really responded to the architecture in a nice way.
Yeah, I love this.
And then we just have 3 more. I'll be quick. We have here, this is another artist-run space that's celebrating their 30th anniversary in Aarhus, called Room 64. And they have, they're doing a series of creative workshops with cyanotypes and posting letters. And their research is a lot of, they do a lot of reading groups and like long form research projects. Hi, sorry, we have you. We're just giving a
video call.
And then this space here is a studio collective with an exhibition space. They do 1 exhibition a year. They're in a suburb just outside of Aarhus. Mm-hmm. And this exhibition was 6 female artists thinking about masculinity.
What are these little canyons?
Potentially.
Cannons or whatever you can imagine, something else.
And then we have next door, we have a brand new space that opened in Aarhus. In its current location and its current form, they opened 2 weeks ago in the Latin Quarter. It's Kunsthaus Galerie Tesa. So there's an artist-run gallery in the house, and then it's also full of, there's artists, but also fashion designers and DJs and different creative people in this house. And then the last space we'll show, because I think we'll just stick to this room, right? Is Uncertain States, Scandinavia. And this is a newspaper for photography that's based in Norway. So lots of different projects.
Which is a great idea. Like you can display a lot of photography in a newspaper and it's easier to transport.
Yeah.
So yeah, very different and very cool. And I like how it's changing. Like the carpets were overlapping the first day, and then like now they're spread, and then like this book is now here. It wasn't here yesterday.
Yeah, and we had a performance yesterday that this empty space that's here now, it was full of flowers and leaves and a cow heart. I am so excited that VSG is taking part. I think
Thank you so much.
No, but really, I think it's so cool, and because it's also, I talk about you guys almost every time this year too, when I'm like telling people what Juxtapose is, because I think having, an online residency and online kind of community network for support, and you guys work together on your practices, that this is also an artist-run space that we want to exhibit. I think that helps people understand what we're trying to do, and that we're not just focused on galleries. So I'm talking up VSG a lot this year. So we're really happy that you guys are represented and that Goja was able to come. So
yes, thank you for having us. We really like it. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that like everybody could join at least this way. So
that's right. Hi. Nice to meet you. This is VSG here. Yes. And this is Cecilia, my co-director for Juxtapose. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we have a different kind of social outing every night. And then as Gordana said, we had this kind of reverse panel discussion yesterday morning, and then a forest outing to the forest where an artist did like a meditation and a ritual for the ocean. And so kind of also thinking about some climate themes and stuff that way.